Hello, and welcome back everyone to episode 4 of Amorous. We're gonna go ahead and start taking it back here to the club. You can see Seth is gone. We had the bartender to talk to. Of course, we can talk to Kobe. They look very nice though. Let's see what's up there. Fun. Alright, who do we have going on here? He looks like a Final Fantasy character. Oh, couldn't help but notice the lion at the back of the room, his face a placid mask, as the parrot next to him seemed locked in a scowl. Despite my best intentions, I couldn't help but overhear snippets of what they were saying. Seriously, you want to make a big deal out of this? Yeah, I am. What were you thinking? I'd like to have some fun for a change. Then go have some fun, and once you're done, you can stay gone. Neither of them moved for a long moment. The snarl on the parrot's beak grew sharper, and it parted long enough for an exhale. Nothing was spoken, though. Instead, the parrot turned on his heel with a snort, strode back towards the bar. The lion tried not to watch as the parrot moved through the crowd to the dance floor. His eyes darted to their corners, catching a glimpse or two before the crowd engulfed the parrot. After a beat, the lion's expressions changed. His emerald green eyes narrowed and scanned the room as the corners of his mouth began to rise. A twinge of fear tickled the back of my neck as those eyes settled on me. Oh. The lion drew his tongue slowly over his lips, and two very wicked-looking fangs came into view. He crooked a finger at me, urging to come over. Yes. Despite my reservations, I felt drawn in. His smile grew predatory, and the taut muscles beneath his shirt tensed enticingly as he shifted to give me a once-over. Well, would you look at that? I'm surprised you came over to me, but happy to see you here. I was just about to buy myself a drink. Don't suppose you'd like one too, Ayo? Ayo? Yeah? Sure, I'm a little parched and a drink could help me relax. Sounds good, let me order something for us. Oh. He glanced over at the bar for a moment before walking over and placing an order. Unfortunately, there's nothing more awkward than standing alone in an active nightclub. Glancing between the club goers, I was feeling a little exposed until we walked back with two highball glasses. Handing one to me, I glanced down to see what it was. Each glass had 2 cubes of ice and a cherry bobbing in an amber beverage. There we go. I always like to have a couple in me when I'm chatting. Takes the edge off. Might even give you something to do other than stare at me. Not that I mind. Oh my god. So, I'm Dustin. What's your name, kid? Banjo. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Ha. You sure you're in the right place, kid? Anyway, the name's Dustin. What brings you here, Banjo? You don't look like the type to cruise bars. And considering how quickly you came over, I figure you don't have a date waiting on you. I could feel my cheeks flush as those hungry eyes kept wandering over me. Nope. I just came here with my brother. He'd been wanting to get out of the house, and I said I'd come along. You sure there wasn't another reason? I mean, to be fair, I want to get laid. The truth. I'm looking to get laid tonight. I need to blow off some steam. There's really no better way in my book. Besides, I'm not a dancer, and drinking is just a means to an end. God, are you for real? Kid, you look like you barely belong in this place and you're playing the big tough veteran. I bet you could count the times you walked into a joint like this on a single hand. What can I say? I know what I want and I'm not afraid to be upfront about it. Yep. You've got balls, I admit that. Here's the thing about balls though. You gotta know when to pull them out and when to just hint at them. Oh my gosh, so is that a no then? Well, I'm gonna need more than just an offer, that's for sure. What do you mean? Well, I don't do complete strangers and I don't do small talk, which means I'm gonna need some conversation if you want to keep this going. After all, we both got drinks, it'd be a shame to waste them on empty chatter. Dustin's eyes glimmered a little in the dim light, and I felt another tingle up my spine. I suppose it would be a good idea to get to know each other better. Fair enough. Why don't I start? Tell me a little about you. Speaking of conversation, you haven't said much about yourself. Fair enough, but there's not much to tell that I can repeat in public. Oh my gosh. Are you from around here? Are you a local? Born and raised? In fact, my parents grew up around here as well and liked it so much they decided to stay. How about you? Did you stay because you liked it? It's nice to have the ocean nearby and the nightlife is great. Still, I do wonder what it would be like in a bigger city. I just like the idea of a city that never sleeps, where something is always going on. Here, it seems like most stuff shuts down once it gets dark. I know what you mean. There's always stuff to do, but it's just the same old things. I'd like some adventure. Totally. I mean, the surf and the sun are nice for a while, but sometimes I just need something that will rock my world. Well, that's certainly part of why I'm here. Well, you've got my curiosity piqued, kid. What else do you want to talk about? Oh my gosh. So who was that guy from earlier? I don't mean to pry, but I couldn't help but overhear you talking to that guy earlier. What was that all about? Caught that, huh? Not the way to make a first impression. That was my date for tonight. Emphasis on the was. Suppose I should have seen it coming. We've been on the rocks for quite some time. What happened? Came here to look for a third, but it was his idea to spice up the relationship. Problem is, once he finds one, he doesn't want to share. Polyamory can be difficult. I'm no expert, but I know my brother's had a fair share of multiple dates. It's never easy for him either. Didn't expect it to be easy, but didn't expect it to just be an excuse either. I thought I might have been into it if he gave me half a chance. You kept an open mind at least. That counts for something. Doesn't count for much when I'm not the one included. Look, it's a touchy subject. Okay, fair enough. Maybe there's something else we can talk about. Let's find somewhere private. It's been dropping hints all night. Maybe I should try something a little risque. Use him as a top. Oh, you're a cute guy. I bet you would be even cuter with this jeans tucked down, tail in my hand, and grinding against my lap. Don't think I've ever heard a lion beg for more before. Want to be the first? Whoa. Whoa, kid. What the heck was that? Just a suggestion. Come on, we're both here. You've been hinting about it all night. Why don't we just cut to the chase? There's no chase to cut at this point, kid. Maybe on the prowl, but that doesn't mean I'm desperate for a bite. Admit it, you'd like to be under me. Let's not kid ourselves. I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't think you would look adorable with your head between my thighs. If it weren't for security, I'd have you over the bar right now. By his placid expression, his eyes narrowed. He set his drink down on the table and looked at me for a moment. If you're that hard enough for fuck, then you could just go, oh. Before I could object, he'd already headed back to the club. Guess I just pushed it too far this time. That's hilarious. Hey, yo. Came here to fuck off again, kid? Oh, I came to apologize. Nah, I came back to apologize. I guess I'm more rusty at this than I thought, and, well, I wanted to give it another shot. Another shot, huh? No, I've heard that one before. Just got out of a messy relationship. I'm not looking to get involved in another one. No more screw-ups, I promise. Be on my best behavior, on my honor. This isn't an after-school club, kid. I'm looking for an adult who's willing to do adult things like talk and drink. I know, I just don't want to screw this up. Came out to meet people and, well, the words stuck in my throat as the blood rushed to my cheeks. Didn't help that he kept looking at me with that mix of pity and amusement. You're an adorable goof. Fine. Give me a sec to chat with a friend I just saw and come back by. We'll try again without the drama, alright? Thanks, I appreciate it. Just don't give me another reason to kick you to the curb, kid. See you when you're ready. Oh my gosh, okay. Guess we'll talk to him again. Huh. It's swear I just saw Dustin here. Sorry to keep her waiting. Just getting that drink. Thought he ditched me there for a minute. So, where were we before this intermission? So, about me. Suppose I should talk a little about myself. That's first step to getting to know someone, so what are you like when you're not in the club? It's boring. I think it's time to get to know me, get out and see what this town has to offer. Got plenty of free time to do that, kid. Well, I'm just kind of in between jobs at the moment. Not ideal, but I'm making the best of it. Hope you're not looking for a sugar daddy while you get back on your feet. Oh my god. Nah, I've got some savings. I'd just settle for a daddy. No worries, I was smart and made sure I had a nest egg. Smart and freely available? You're getting more interesting by the moment, see? I kinda figured that's what he was wanting to hear. Hey now, I didn't say I'd be a sugar daddy either. Ha! Well, we can go Dutch then, it's only fair. How's the job hunting going? Going alright. Just getting started. So it's going alright. Had a few callbacks, found some interesting places to work. So it's like you've pretty much got this figured out. That I like that. I like to think I've got it together. That said, I'm sure you didn't want to talk about your job status all night. Talking about my lack of job wasn't the best choice of conversation topic. Maybe I should try something else. Didn't I already ask him about him? Much as he might like, I'm not going to spend all night talking about myself. This is fun, but I didn't want to spend all night talking. Well, I finished my drink if we certainly got to know each other. A little, what did you have in mind? Oh, wanna find somewhere private, or want to make this official? I'd find somewhere private and get to know you a little better in other ways. Add a little more, the smile on his face growing wider. His paw rested on my shoulder, and he drew close enough for me to catch his intoxicating scent. I think we should retire to one of the private booths they've got here. See, got him. Really? What did you have in mind? I think you've gotten an idea of it already, kid. His paw moved from my shoulder downward, trailing over my back. I could feel the claw tips, tickling and teasing me under my clothes. To be honest with you, Banjo, I'm a very private person, but I have a particular interest that would involve you. I figured you should know about them. A. His paw fell to the curve of my rear, squeezing softly as pulled me close to him. I could feel his whiskers tickling my cheeks as he whispered to me. I like to tie people up. I like to control them when we're in the bedroom. Been picturing you naked since, maybe a few minutes after we started talking. Been fantasizing about what I can do to you and what you can do for me. I can almost see you on your knees in front of me begging for a taste. You look good there. It was hard to keep any remaining composure I had between the caress of his silky fur and the growing warmth in the pit of my stomach. I was getting flushed myself. Ooh. I can even be a little bit of an exhibitionist if I need to be. Stepped away for a moment, sliding off his shirt and tucking it into the waistband of his pants before stepping up to me and lacing his paws behind the small of my back, forcing me forward. So what do you say, kid? Between him pressing needfully against me and the feeling of my blood pressure rushed everywhere by my brain, I struggled for a response. My attempts were cut short. However, by a sudden vibration against my thigh, he looked confused for a moment before fishing his phone out of his pocket. Just great. I wonder who texted me. He released me, the ambient glow of the phone lighting up his face in the dimly lit club. First he looked frustrated, his brow furrowed as his eyes darted over the screen. However, his expression changed almost immediately after his hands fell to his sides. Ah, bastard. He sent me a photo of him with two guys he met here. They're going at it in my apartment, in my bed. Says he's been cheating on me with them for the past couple of months. Put his phone back in the pocket and looked at me. Look, I have to deal with this. Really didn't want the night to turn out like this, but smiled meekly. It was all a little still overwhelming. I'd like to see you again, preferably when my ex isn't being a total dick. Pulling out a notepad, he scribbled something down on it and passed it over. Here's my cell. Give me a call sometime. I'd like to give this another chance. Hey, Alright. Throwing his shirt back on, he began to work his way through the crowd. I clutched the paper for a moment as my body began to settle down from its high. Slipping it into my pocket, I slowly came back to my senses. Okay. Well, I got Dustin's phone number, so that's amazing. Alright. Who dis? Security? Heading over to grab a drink from the machine, I noticed one of the bouncers chatting up a fairly energetic customer. They seemed to be having a good time, the smaller male wiggling his hips to side, and eyeing the large dragon with the eyes that suggested all sorts of mischief. Perhaps this was my chance to meet some new people like Kobe suggested. Get a drink? First things first, I need a drink rather than standing around like I was waiting for them to move. Put some money into the machine and lean on the wall next to the tall staff member and pressed for a simple water, since the machine was mostly full of snacks. I suppose the bar downstairs, they don't need much up here. Bottle popped out of the machine and I gave a few sips, taking in the atmosphere of Amorous without interjecting too soon in the conversation between the other two. Felt relaxing being here. The beat of the music in the back of my head, the cool sensation of the drink in my throat, it wasn't so bad after all. Even if the press of people downstairs was maybe a bit much for a newbie, the other two continued their conversation. Huh, is that so? You know, Rose, you do this every weekend. What's in it for me this time? Rosewood. Oh, what's in it for you? Well, how about this? The small avian leaned up, hand on the dragon's chest, swishing his hips the whole time. Whispered into his ear as a large male laying down, a grin lightening his gruff features a few moments later. Now that was a winning smile, even if the smaller guy and him were clearly involved from the intimate way they touched when he whispered. Before I'd even realized it, security guard had turned to me. He had that wide grin on his handsome features, teeth glinting in the bright lighting of the club. I caught a glance at his name tag, Zenith. The other guy in the tight shorts stood beside him, a pixie-ish glint in his eyes. Well, I don't think I've seen you around here before, and trust me, I would have noticed someone as cute as you. Hey. This has certainly been interesting, but this is all the time that we have for this episode, so I will see you guys all into the next one, and, you know, maybe we'll call Dustin back in the next one. We'll see.